Hey everyone, and welcome to the Strategic Coaching Explainer. We're going to jump right in today and completely shift your paradigm. Look, if you're a mid-level manager trying to break through to that executive level, you might feel kind of stuck, right? Even though you're delivering consistently strong work. Well, today, we're moving entirely away from relying on your potential. Instead, we're going to teach you how to engineer undeniable evidence of your next level readiness. So let's get right into it.
Let's kick things off with a tough but absolutely necessary question. What has someone in a position to advocate for you actually witnessed you do? And I mean witnessed firsthand. Not what they've heard through the grapevine, not what's written in some yearly performance review, and, certainly not that you bring really great donuts to the Friday team meetings. Have the senior leaders, the ones who can literally change the trajectory of your career, have they actually seen you perform in a high-stakes moment?
So, to understand why you might feel stalled despite your excellent track record, let's look at Section 1, the advocacy gap. Generally speaking, there are 3 states in your career visibility: invisible, recognized, and advocated. And then there's this uncomfortable reality right in the middle, which we call the advocacy gap. It's this tricky space where leaders mistakenly believe they are being actively advocated for, when in reality, they're merely recognized. Most leadership programs totally miss this distinction. Being respected by your peers and getting a polite nod in the hallway is fundamentally different from being actively represented by a senior leader in a closed-door succession discussion.
There is a massive contrast between the myth and the reality of advancement. As a mid-level manager, you might think your high potential, your promise, and those stellar performance reviews are enough to get someone to go to bat for you. But the senior reality? It's a completely different ballgame. Senior leaders evaluating talent require concrete, observable evidence of your next-level readiness. They need specific moments, not just a general vibe that you're a good worker.
Which brings us to Section 2, the currency of evidence.
Let's break down exactly how senior leaders evaluate your talent. When a senior leader advocates for you in a calibration meeting, they aren't just doing you a favor. They are taking a calculated risk using their own personal credibility. Think of it like a literal bank account. Every recommendation they make is a deposit or withdrawal from their reputation account. They don't do this casually, and they definitely don't do it just for people they happen to like. They won't make that bet unless it feels completely safe to their own standing. There's this quote that perfectly hits the nail on the head regarding the mindset of those evaluating you. Careers don't move on belief, they move on what someone has seen. They absolutely will not stake their name on people they simply believe in. They require undeniable proof that you already think and operate at the next level and, this is key, that your capabilities can be clearly described in 2 sentences or less.
So advocacy is usually forged in these high-stakes pressure cooker moments. It's about a leader directly witnessing you making a crucial decision, like, say, choosing to delay a major product launch to fix a critical security flaw. Or it's you offering a uniquely valuable perspective when everyone else is stuck. Or making a tough call that fundamentally changes the direction of a project. These specific moments don't just build your resume, they actually create advocates, because the person witnessing it now has something concrete to stake their name on.
Okay, we know what advocacy is and why it's so rare. Moving on to Section 3, building your evidence base.
Here is your strategic coaching playbook for today. It's a 3-step process to shift you from merely building casual relationships to actively creating moments of demonstrated readiness. Let's put this into practice.
Step 1. You've got to map out the 2 or 3 specific people who are closest to the rooms where your name will actually surface. Once you identify them, ask yourself, what have they actually seen me do at the next level? If the answer is kind of thin, well, you have to target an observable moment for them to witness your capabilities firsthand. Look, you cannot talk someone into advocacy during a casual coffee chat. You literally have to show them something worth carrying.
Moving to Step 2, and this one's absolutely crucial. Surface the hidden work. When you're in high-stakes interactions with these mapped leaders, don't just deliver the final polished outcome. You need to explicitly reveal the trade-offs you considered, the specific risks you weighed, and the enterprise implications. Basically, how your decision impacts other departments down the line. You have to make your deep strategic thinking completely visible to them.
And that brings us to a really important distinction. Delivering an outcome, that only proves what you did. But explaining your reasoning, that proves how you think. Advocates absolutely need the latter. They need to understand your reasoning so they can confidently defend your strategic mindset when they are sitting in that closed-door meeting.
And finally, Step 3, give them the language to carry.
Even the most brilliant moments fade from memory if they aren't clearly articulated. You must follow up meaningful interactions with a brief, clear summary. Now, I'm not talking about awkward self-promotion here. Actually, scratch that. It's just a quick follow-up email framing your contribution in next-level terms. You're giving them the exact vocabulary to defend you later. You're ensuring the right narrative is readily available to your potential advocate the second your name comes up.
To wrap up our explainer today, let's hit Section 4, the complete advancement system.
We need to place advocacy within the broader machinery of your corporate career. The advancement system isn't purely political, and it definitely isn't random. It's a stacked sequence of layers. It goes from evaluation and interpretation all the way down through positioning to windows and finally advocacy. Every single step on this list depends entirely on the one right before it. You just can't skip straight to the bottom.
When this system breaks down, you stall out. Think about it. If you have strong positioning but zero advocacy, you're essentially experiencing readiness without representation. You're ready to go, but no one is speaking up for you. Conversely, if someone desperately wants to advocate for you, but you haven't provided them with clear evidence, well, you give them nothing specific to carry into the room to defend you with.
Ultimately, the system isn't simply about working harder or just being more visible around the office. The mid-level managers who successfully cross that gap into executive roles are the ones who deeply understand this exact architecture. They deliberately and strategically engineer the evidence required at every single stage of their presence. I'm going to leave you with this final provocative thought for your career. Those closed-door conversations about your future, they are happening right now. They're happening in rooms you aren't in, with people making quick assessments based on incredibly limited information. The question is never whether the conversation is happening. The real question is, have you given them something worth saying? Take the playbook we covered today, map your advocates, and ask yourself, what hidden work are you going to surface tomorrow to engineer your readiness?